What's up, all you Lee haters out there? If you're catching the replay, you're in for a freaking treat. For the live viewers coming today, I am freaking pumped. The magic letter has been the one thing that out of all my audience members, if you've been following me, you're on my Instagram, you're on my Facebook, everybody wants a copy of the magic letter. The magic letter literally changed my roofing business. It made it to where we have guys selling $1 million in 90 days. And as this YouTube builds up, I'm going to, kind of talk a little bit about this old school strategy that we've used in the past. And it's sometimes really true in life that the stuff that you've used in the past, like sometimes you forget about it. And using this insurance to retail magic letter approach has sped up our ability to get jobs built very, very quickly from the time of contingency. If you want to talk about the biggest problem in the roofing industry, it's the amount of contracts that we sign versus contracts that we build. Comment where you're coming in from. As we get this YouTube live, I want it to be very interactive. A lot of people have questions. What is the magic letter? What do you mean insurance to retail? And how are you building these jobs without approval? You're not waiting on supplements. And what is this insurance to retail revolution? So if you're watching this coming in from Michigan, I love Michigan. It's a great place for both insurance and retail. I'll tell you about the storm year I worked in Novi, Michigan, outside of Detroit. Nobody knew about hail, and that was like a sea of organic shingles out there. I'm sure you know about them organic shingles, the metric 3 tabs. What's up, Louisiana? Louisiana, man, my shit really works for Louisiana. I got some big-time players, some big hitters. I'm going to share with you how this kind of works in your market. But whenever I was in Michigan, storm hit Novi. It was a small storm. We were eating off of the organic 3 tabs, and it was a very basically small compact area full of really good income homes. And then we had a big badass storm that hit Shelby Township, Macomb Township. I chased that storm, and that's where basically I went into a no soliciting neighborhood. A tree fell on a gate, and next thing I know, I'm talking to a roof that's like 100 squares. I sell the roof, and this organic next door is like 110 squares. And I talked to the owner. I'm like, dude, who owns that house? He's like, dude, do you know who Marshall Mathers is? And I'm like, fucking Eminem fanboying out. And so anyways, ended up stalking the property, getting on the roof, telling them about storm damage. The end of the story was I got motivated to sell all Eminem's neighbors. We did 38 roofs on his street. I didn't actually end up getting to do Eminem's roof. But since then, a lot of good roofers have gone door to door. They've done insurance, they've done retail. And this magic letter really would apply for anyone in Michigan. Comment what you come in here to learn. Like, what's the biggest challenge that you have in the market right now? If you're doing insurance, if you're doing retail. For Louisiana, man, for my Louisiana guys, I got a guy, Cloto. He's killing it in Lafayette. He's an $8 million a year guy. He came to me doing $1 million a year. And he's killing it with this insurance to retail. There's active storm dates. I think it was Jennings, Louisiana. We had 100 mile an hour, 80 mile an hour winds. But there's so many hurricanes that come through when you have an old roof. There's always a way for us to find a date where there's winds over 60 mile an hour, file the claim on the new date, and then we really build leverage in why that customer has to get a roof today. Because I don't know if you heard about what's happening in Louisiana, what's happening in Florida, what's happening in Louisiana is the precursor to what's happening across the United States. Have y'all heard about what's happening? Comment below if you've heard about what's happening with insurance policies, how the insurance company's changing the game. I want to get everyone's opinions. Let me go into the chat here real quick. You remember that hailstorm, Lance? Where are you at? It wasn't a widespread storm, but we did. That year, I was a small town contractor. I was still a storm chaser running around with like my cousin and a few sales guys, like my best friend from high school and his friend from fraternities. There was like 4 or 5 sales guys. That year was the first year that I took my team on the road and we did more than 5 million in sales. And so anyways, it's evolved since then. Of course, when the storm left, I had to leave because I was a storm chaser. That's my story growing up. I learned how to sell roofs by going door to door at the age of 14 because my dad and my uncle were storm chasers, and selling roofs paid for by the insurance company is the easiest sell in America. Contingent upon approval. If you have legitimate damage, you want it covered. This gives me permission to speak to the insurance. No more cost than your deductible. If there's no approval, there's no cost. But the problem is the amount of jobs that get denied. Who's had State Farm? What's your strategy for winning against State Farm? Anybody want to comment below? ACV policies and partial coverage, high deductibles. That's definitely happening all across the United States. That's part of the problem. That's causing roofers to have to sell more. It's really creating this to become a more of an insurance to retail. And so many times in the past, people have been afraid to give people a price. And I try to go the opposite. I try to be complete opposite of all the people out there being average. And if you're one of these roofers that's doing the roof for proceeds, that won't give the customer a price, even if you're collecting the deductibles. So you wait for your supplements to get paid, you wait for your depreciation to get paid. Guys, I call this death by depreciation. Do y'all know what death by depreciation is? Because talking to people as they scale, you don't really feel the pain until you get to 5, 7, 10. But once you go from 10 to 20 million, you really start to feel the pain of financing deals and waiting to get paid for depreciation. If you do insurance, I'm sure you've felt the pain of supplementing a job, of waiting to get paid, and it taking 90 days or longer to get your check. And it's just not right. These insurance companies are trying to strangle out the growth of your business. And I don't know if you have seen the trend, but State Farm, they're denying probably 80+% of roofs across the board, nationwide. State Farm, Snake Farm, and you have to have some of these strategies to overcome what they literally are doing. And so if you're watching this right now, I'm going to present to you a concept called the magic letter. I'm pulling out my presentation so that I stay on track. But it's funny, I did this live in YouTube, so I don't really have a way to do both. So I got to pull this over to the side here, get this live on my screen, and keep it moving. So here's the thing. If you want to win against State Farm, you have to understand that you're not going to win every single adjuster appointment on the first visit. If you're thinking it's like the good old days where you're going to build rapport with the adjuster, set up the ladder, show them the photos and the damages, go up there and point out the damages and get somebody who has been authorized to pay to replace the roof, you are mistaken. A lot of times the people that are out there doing the inspection, they don't have the authority to buy the roof. They've been instructed, to pretty much delay, deny, defer responsibilities. So it's not responsible for you to be selling insurance claim roof replacement without speaking to your customers about really what the true state of the market is. And if you will learn, and during this presentation, here's what I want to teach you: how to use the magic letter. It's going to help you overcome denials without a public adjuster. And it's not to say that public adjusters aren't really good people. They're great to network with, and I love public adjusters. But oftentimes I find that it delays the process, and I don't want to be waiting months on months, even years on years, for the ability to build a roof. And so let's go into this insurance to retail revolution. It's this concept that if you set your margins at 40 to 50%, okay, if you sell the roof, guys, you're doing it all wrong. I don't know where you're coming in from. We got guys from Louisiana. We got guys from Michigan. But the idea is to sell the roof first and to get reimbursed by the insurance company. Whoa, revolutionary concept. Don't just sell the claim, although I'm the world's worst about saying, hey, my drone detected damage on your roof. It's the best way to get into the doors, to offer a free inspection and offer a chance to get your roof paid for by the insurance. It's what makes our offer online so good. And so what we have to remember is this basically analogy from Alex Hormozy. When it comes time to buy a steak, the most important time for someone to make that offer is when someone's the hungriest. You're supposed to present that steak when they're hungry, but once you fulfill that hunger, it's hard to sell them an expensive steak. So once you've told the customer, and this is what we go into the magic letter, how to use it. Once you told that customer that there's insurance claims involved, you've got them kind of perked. Their interest is perked. And your job at this point is to set your price, be transparent with your price. This is what I call ripping the Band-Aid. And the first step to getting a roof paid for by the insurance company faster is to get the customer to incur the cost. So you just write that down. The fastest way to get your roof approved is for you to incur the cost. The more that you can look into the mirror and say it with certainty, the more that you can develop it into the pitch, the more that you will understand it's simply the next step after getting the claim number, after filing the steps. And I just want y'all to think about this process because it's very, very simple, okay? There's lots of different places, whether you're in Michigan or you're in Nebraska I'm looking for old roofs. First and foremost, if I'm scaling a roofing company, I can generate leads and I can get them pretty cheap. But the best way to scale is with a zero cost per acquisition. And so I believe that going door to door and offering insurance to retail is the best way to do it. So if you're watching this and you're a business owner and you're trying to scale your company to 8 figures and beyond, look, a good cost per appointment is 150 to 200 bucks. Then you got to make sure the sales rep run it. A good basically booking rate, is going to be about, 60, 70% off of social media, maybe a little higher off of inbound Google leads and inbound calls. But getting the leads ran, getting appointments offered, and getting the leads closed is going to lead to a cost per acquisition that no matter how much that you want to scale, you're going to have to spend. There is a friend of mine. He's out of Michigan. He's one of the largest local retail roofers. And in order to get to $30, $40 million in sales, you got to be willing to spend $250,000, $300,000, $350,000 a month in retail marketing for a retail roof. And if you're watching this right now, a magic letter would prevent you from having to spend all this huge ad spend, because most of the leads would be generated by going to the old roofs in the neighborhoods that were affected by storms, knocking on doors, setting the price at 45 to 50% upfront. And the whole sales process is around getting the sales rep to get reimbursed by the claim, reimbursed by the loan. We have a sales rep. His name is Malachi. He really started off the year pretty strong. He'd done about 600,000 in his first 6 months, and he was signing contingency agreements, meeting adjusters, waiting for the first check. And if the job didn't get approved, we were using the magic letter. And this is where the magic letter began, overturning lots of people. This letter is simple. What is the magic letter? The magic letter is a letter from the customer to the insurance company. It simply states, please pay the claim as presented. We are going to take you to court and hold you accountable for the damages, and we will start the work within 30 days. So please take a look at the estimate attached, look at the photos, pay the claim as presented, or we'll see you in court. And this letter, usually using ChatGPT with customized specifications to the damage, to all the different things. This is where you basically get the customer to get the roof overturned. Now, a lot of times, a State Farm roof, they got coverage extended, and whether the roof is matching, whether there's repairability, you're going to put the details of your argument into the letter. And when the customer makes the argument's much stronger. And we found the magic letter was overturning 50 to 80% of denials without a public adjuster. And so if you're watching this right now, okay, the key is not to talk about the magic letter after you've got denied. The key is to talk about the magic letter in the beginning of the process. It gives you a whole basis to pivot your insurance to retail switch. So let's walk through the roofing sales process. Malachi was selling about 100,000 a month in the old process. About halfway through the year, we shifted. We started offering a no payment, no interest loan at contingency, a no payment, no interest loan at adjuster, a no payment, no interest loan when the coverage decision. And what happened was we probably had a 50% denial rate in Connecticut, and we took that time that it takes to go from contingency to turned in job. Malachi was able to sell $1 million in the last 90 days because he would get 90% of his roofs signed up for a loan at the contingency agreement. You might ask how that works. We use the magic letter as the pivot. So this is how it works. Do y'all want to hear how it works? If you're a business owner and you want to hear how getting your cash immediately and getting the right margin on your job, type in owner right now, and I'll get you the exact copy of the letter. Just type in that you're an owner, and I'll get you information for free, okay? Because this is what we do, all right? We find damage. We sign a contingency agreement. We wait for an adjuster appointment. Nothing's changed except for if you have legitimate damage, you want it covered. This right here gives me permission to speak to the insurance. It's contingent upon approval. This says that there's no approval, there's no cost. Your only out-of-pocket expenses, your deductible. Sign here and here. Great. Then we're calling the insurance company. We're telling them on March 24th, there was storm damage. Please go ahead and address this issue. Now you've built what we call reciprocity with the customer, who always calls the claim in with the customer when you sign the job. That makes the customer feel like you've done a really good job. Go ahead and like this post if you feel like every single time that you call the insurance company with the contingency agreement, because if you don't, then your contingency agreement's not real. Like when I'm paying a sales rep, I don't pay reps on contingency agreements that don't have claim numbers and photos because those aren't real contracts. So if you're watching this right now, one of the biggest challenges is a new sales rep comes on board. How fast does it take for you to get your jobs built and get paid? And so when you get the claim number and you filed the claim, the best transition is this is the part where you're at the highest peak of the sale. You've delivered for the customer. You've got them a claim number. You've started the process to get them paid for the insurance. Now it's time for you to go ahead and lock in your payment. It's time for you to go ahead and lock in your deal. Do I have y'all's attention to tell you how to do it? It's be honest with them. You tell them, look, insurance companies delayed, denied, defer responsibility. They're not in this to profit. Here, insurance companies are dropping hundreds of thousands of people because of the age of their roof. Premiums are up because they know if you have an older roof, you're more likely to get damaged. So what we want to do is we want to help you start saving on your roof immediately. As soon as you get a new roof, you start saving. Now in Louisiana and Florida, oftentimes we can get you a $300 a month payment and not more than $300 off your insurance premium every single year. So we start building an urgency of why it's important to get the roof done now, because you may get dropped, because the cheapest to get a roof is now, and because you have an opportunity from the insurance company to win 50 to 80% of the claim. And so at this point, we tell them, look, the insurance company, they're the toughest negotiators in the world. We need leverage. After fighting insurance companies all the time, we've learned that it's educating you that is the secret. It's giving you the power. And so we're going to go ahead and put this documentation together. We're going to empower you. And chances are the insurance company is going to come out here and they're going to try to deny. You be prepared for that, sir. We're going to fight. And this is what makes us different, because we have this letter. And this letter simply states, please pay this claim as presented, or you will hold them accountable with our team of engineers and attorneys. And it simply states that you're going to use the power of the purse, that you're going to get pre-approved and dictate the exact terms of the deal. See, at RRCA, we install 5-star roofs. Insurance companies try to pay wholesale pricing, and we're going to make them pay for a better quality roof. So we have to dictate the terms. Claim is a verb. This is leverage. And so if we could go ahead and get you a copy of your driver's license, this is how we get you pre-approved. Now I'm walking them from contingency to getting their driver's license. And before they've even asked if it's a loan, before they even know what's going on, 30 to 40% of the homeowners go and get their driver's license without asking questions. Now, I use an in-home financing tool. I use a couple of different tools. I like Goodleap because it's a soft pull on your credit. I like Service Finance because there's a lot of different options, buy down options that get people approved below 600. I'm going to focus on a no payment, no interest loan. I'm going to tell them, and I'm not going to really say the word loan. If they ask me, Lee, is this a loan? I'm going to say, yes, this is a loan, but it's at no cost to you. It's a special promotional program that we have for customers going through the claims process. This allows us to dictate the insurance company, and it gives your magic letter real leverage. And so what this is very simple. It allows us to get the best chance for approval. And this is what we need to go ahead and meet your adjuster to fight on your behalf. We have to have a pre-approval. Now you have a half decent credit score, don't you? Now you got to take it away because they want a roof paid for by the insurance. But let me ask you, do you want your salespeople, or do you really want to work for insurance proceeds for people that don't have good credit? Do you think there's a chance that those people are going to keep the insurance check, or those people are going to bid you out around a lot of? Do you think that people with bad credit are more likely to do it? Answer yes. If you just love working for people without bad credit, then keep signing up jobs without checking their credit score and asking this question. Because don't you want to know going into your build if the person has a half decent credit score? And so if you're watching this right now, these are the questions that actually make you more qualified for the buyer. So if y'all are watching this, you're a business owner, dude, we just did a scaling exit event right at my office. I took everyone through the scale and exit roadmap. We're having another one at the end of the month. And what we do is we give you a whole scaling roadmap. See, this system was revolutionary, this magic letter, because look, we roof and sue. And so the first step of the process is to think a contingency doesn't count. If you don't get a hard number contract and a loan, then it's not a deal. And if you're watching this right now and you're an owner, look, we sell a lot of retail. We run ads, metal roofs similar to the same price as shingle. We run ads. You want to save as a Florida homeowner? The first step is our special program. Give us a call, get a new roof, zero money down, and you can instantly save on your premium. There's even these programs where it doesn't matter if you're offering a coupon or a 15% price value guarantee. A lot of times with retail, I'm going to speak specific, like new roofs as low as $199 a month. These leads, I try to sell straight retail. Everything that comes in from a paid ad, I try to go straight retail. But when I'm knocking doors and I'm in a storm damage zone and I find an old roof, do you think it's your duty to help the customer? Absolutely. So if you're watching this, it's revolutionary for my business. Why? I was doing 60 million a year. I was paying my dad and I both about $1 million a year. I paid $1 million in taxes from the profits of that year because we made almost 5 million bucks. However, that was right after a storm. My business model of being a storm catcher really paid off when I built a business in Naples, Florida, and we got hit by Hurricane Ian. At that year, I did about 60 million in revenue, and total profits over 6 million bucks. Total EBITDA after everything was done was 4.5 million. And if you're a business owner, sometimes pride comes before the fall. And for me, I had it all figured out. And even though I was insurance dependent, I was working out, I was doing a lot of MMA, I was worried about my clicks and views on YouTube, and I wasn't understanding what was happening, that there was a shift in the market and that the cash flow was about to become absolutely hitting a brick wall. And when they started denying more claims, when $8 million was on the streets and insurance companies collapsed, I had to adapt. And the whole business in Florida, lots of people went out of business. But what I had to do was I had to figure out, how do I get more roofs built even though they're denied? And how do I build roofs without supplement approval? And how do I get paid when I'm done with the job? And how do I sell jobs for a 45% profit no matter what? And if you're asking yourself this question of why you are struggling with cash flow or why you can't retain top sales reps because it's too hard for them to build their jobs or for them to get paid, it's chances are this business model that you're built on sand. And you could say that I was built on a house of cards, but I wasn't. I have lots of different skills. So the ability to recruit, hire, train, retain, and knock doors, that will bail you out of any situation. And the second secret of this presentation is that we have had people, all they don't have to be the greatest business guys. As a matter of fact, I had a guy who had been $1 million to $2 million a year on his own for a very long time. And he's not a huge social media influencer. He's in a small town, he's not in a major market, but he trained with us on this insurance to retail. And he's in Louisiana. He's doing video ads. He's generating leads. But a lot of his guys go door to door. They find storm dates, and he switches a lot of these deals to retail deals. He upgrades them to metal. Talking about my guys, Cloto Construction. They kill it in Lafayette. He's making over $1 million a year, having a business that runs without him, and he's a very high efficient group. And so if you're watching this right now, you don't have to be the best salesperson. You just have to follow the script. And if you're a business owner, following the script and learning retail, setting your margins, getting paid no matter what, it means that you don't have to live death by depreciation. And if you comment death by depreciation, and I'm going to give you the exact framework you need to do to fix your cash flow problems. And let me tell you, if you're doing insurance, this is the cash flow fix. Y'all ready for it? Okay, it's 50% down, 25% upon commencement, and 25% upon finish. And what does that mean? That means that we don't start a project without 50%. And upon commencement means that we tell the customer that we're starting. The next day, materials are delivered. And before my guys start nailing on the roof, guess what? I pick up 25%. That means I pick up 75% before I ever start nailing on the job. This does one of two things. Number one, it covers my material and labor costs and cash flows. And the number one rule in business is never get ahead of the money on an individual job. And so if you're watching this, I was always great at sales and marketing, but it was punishing myself by not following rules, not being disciplined. I didn't always used to work out crazy and go to the gym, but I felt like I feel better now. I'm in better mental health. So as I've grown up, I've gotten more serious and more disciplined in the gym. Same thing in business. Never getting ahead of the money means that the customer has to pay when I'm finished, regardless if the depreciation's in, regardless if the mortgage company's in, because I'm not a bank. And if you can't pay, I've partnered with the bank. And let me introduce you to Truist or Service Finance. And I have a special program at no cost to you. Or you could play keep the check, and you could have a low monthly payment as low as $79 a month for every $10,000. If you're watching this, insurance to retail is a cheat code, but straight retail is better than insurance to retail. Why? Because I don't have to deal with meeting adjusters. I don't have to wait 60 to 90 days to build the job. Insurance to retail still takes time. And if you're watching this, learning how to generate leads with social media, a framework that we use, and we go over this at my scaling blueprint. So literally come down to Florida. I take about 10 to 15 contractors at a time and I take them through everything. And this was the revolutionary takeaway for some of these guys. One of the guys was already doing paid ads, having results. And I gave him this. He said it was a fucking secret sauce. Y'all want the fucking secret sauce for nothing but exclusive leads? Comment leads into the chat. And if you're an owner, I don't know if you know, but risk is the down payment for success, and the ability to build wealth. The most important thing is the ability to advertise for profit. But what we're doing right here, it's organic social media. It's free. So the way you do both kind of is how it works. And if you want the leads, if you want the sauce, let me give you the sauce. Okay. Here's the sauce. Okay. Number one, you need Lead GPT. I put all my scripts, all my training, and I will help you build out exactly what to do. Number two, a lot of my videos and ads are actually scripted. And so what you want to do is start building your scripts with this framework. Hook. There's an epidemic of hidden damage. Shelby Township homeowners. My name is Ross, and I have Michigan exteriors. This homeowner here had hidden damage and leaks. We were able to actually go up there, find wind damage. We called the insurance. She had no idea, but we were able to get the roof covered by the insurance. Look, if you click the link below, we'll offer you a free inspection. You may have damage that would qualify you for a new roof through insurance for the out-of-pocket expense of the deductible. We're actually upgrading this homeowner. We're giving her architectural shingle. It's a $5,000 upgrade on average. Please click the link below. See, insurance and hidden damage is a great offer, and we can pivot insurance to retail with my pitch. So that video hook, like the epidemic of hidden damage, combined with the story, here this homeowner is, combined with the offer, free inspection, free upgrade, $5,000 upgrade for an architectural shingle. This was the original framework to the blue collar marketing method. But we pride ourselves off 3 videos. The build video, which is the demonstration of us doing a good job and us retargeting the people who watch the videos, and the testimonial video where we say, stop right there. Don't get ripped off on your roof or your insurance. My name's Lee Haight, and there's been roofs going on in the neighborhood for good reason. Everybody's getting a new roof because there's a lot of older homes. Insurance is paying for some insurance companies forcing you to pay for the roof out of pocket. I'm here with Jeff. Jeff, what was your biggest fear about hiring a roofer? Having a guy get up on my roof saying it was damaged when it wasn't even damaged at all. And what happened when you called us? Y'all gave me an honest assessment, and I loved it. Man, you got through my process claim and did a good roof. It's a great job. So you heard it from Jeff right there. Look, we're in the neighborhood. If you're watching this, we got a free inspection, a 15% price value guarantee. And what we do is a little bit different. We have a golden pledge warranty backed by GAF. That means that when the winds come through, it's like you have a secondary insurance, man. If a shingle blows off, you're backed by $1 billion company. So click the link below. Look, hook story offer. Y'all don't understand it. Y'all don't make the videos. So what do you need to do? You need to take my brain that I can just spit off of this because I've spent hundreds of millions of dollars. I mean, not hundreds of millions. I've generated hundreds of millions. I spent millions of dollars and tested these things. And so there's another one called the Geico pitch. We got a 15% price value guarantee. Don't you know Warren Buffett has tested all the numbers? 15% is the perfect number. They think it's a good discount, but it's not too much. And if you're watching this right now, you need to make 3 or 4 videos. I say 5 videos a month. You take my scripts, you plug them into ChatGPT, and you literally ask for a hidden damage build testimonial video. I can give you the GPT that will spit out the exact scripts, but then you download the Instagram Edits app, or you download the CapCut app. You copy and paste the script from ChatGPT, from chat into Instagram Edits. And then you hold the phone on a roof in front of a build with your customer, or on a roof showing the damage, and you go through the frameworks. And then what we do is we have AI to set the appointments. We have a call center. They're going to call them 6 times within the first 48 hours. It's literally speed to lead. And if you're watching this and you want more leads, you need to come to my next event, because I'm going to give you the sauce, because we call it spray, pray, and retarget. We use AI to go find the people. Dynamic conversions is what you use in Facebook. And then you get 5 different videos to retarget them. So if you ever see me popping up in your news feed, you do that to your clients. You become 5 mile famous. You become dominant in the area, and you try and sell retail first. And this is how I've gone from a storm chaser, storm catcher, insurance guy to one of the most dominant retail roofers in Florida. And it's this blue collar marketing method because all good retail roofers are badasses at paid advertisement. And if you can't generate leads, you suck as a retail roofer. So if you haven't gone to personal development coaching, that's okay, brother. A lot of roofers don't do it. But what I want to make you an offer is to come to my office. I'm doing it once a month with about 10 roofers a month. And I'm going to take you through everything. I'm going to help shift everything because if you start selling insurance to retail, 45 to 50% margin, getting paid in full when you're done every time. Here's the thing. We get the loans and we get the banks to put up the money for materials. And so if you're watching this right now, you need more leads, you need more recruits, but that's probably not your process. The process is, as a business owner, if you're watching this, the process is that you're too stuck doing everything. And the biggest thing about this program with how it works is you have to trust the process. And I would tell you the most important step, all right, is to give it all away. I mean, you have to understand that we're not in a trades business. We're not in a sales business. We're in an education business. The more you educate the people in your team, the more you're going to be able to duplicate. It's duplicate or your dreams die. See, if I'm buying your company, the biggest thing that's going to devalue you is owner dependence. It's the biggest choke point in your business. And so the third step of insurance to retail is, guess what? It's a lot easier to collect jobs when all you have to do is press a button and the insurance company is not involved. You just get the bank wire to wire you money into the job. It takes less overhead. I used to have this big collection department. There was a lot of people in it. And now since we're getting loans on almost every deal, we're marking up the roofs 800 a square plus for shingles. I mean, the reality is that it just allows me to sell at a higher price, cash flow. And this is the thing. I was always revenue first. Some of y'all just don't understand. It's cash flow first. And it's not about how many jobs you can sell. It's about selling jobs at the right price. And that's where y'all get fucked up, is you think it's all about quantity. And I was that guy too. And if you're watching this right now, the third secret is if you sell a job and you sell it the wrong way, you might as well have not sold it at all. Because if you're building a business on a broken system, which is what I was doing, even though I had a $60 million business, we went down when the insurance collapsed because we weren't good enough at retail. We weren't good enough at pulling the Band-Aid, at being upfront and transparent with our price, of walking them through the process. See, y'all's biggest problem in retail is you try and bid the job in the middle. You try to not be too high, not be too expensive, when really everyone needs to take pride in being the most expensive person in the market. I want to help you raise your prices. Do you want to raise your prices? It's a simple 10-step process, but to raise your prices, you got to be willing to start at the Cadillac MSRP. And you can't understand sticker shock until you give it to somebody. And sticker shock means that people all want to win in retail. They want to be able to negotiate down. You know you're going to the car lot and the MSRP is not the price you're paying. So look, if you're watching this right now and you don't understand how to get to 8 figures, you need more leads, you need more salespeople, but you need a solid sales process that is resulting in 40 to 50% profits on every single deal. I do a lot of retail roofs from Lakeland to Clearwater. Absolutely. There's been a lot of storm damage in that area, a lot of good storm dates. And so anytime that I see an old shingle roof, I am always going to find a storm damage and I'm always going to push them towards a loan. And the roof and sue means that if the job gets denied, I'm sending the magic letter. And here's the magic letter. Please pay the claim as presented or we're going to sue your ass. Here is the damage and here's why it needs to be replaced. We're going to start the roof within 30 days. There's your leverage. You have to convince the customer that by doing the roof, by incurring the cost, they're giving themselves the best chance to save. Woo! That's the sauce. That's the sales pitch. How are you using AI to target areas to knock in that area to get a good storm? We are in Colorado and had issues by several roofers already. Woo! You want that sauce. You want that. Well, Optimum Exteriors, if I give you this answer, will you have the balls to come hang out with me and come on my boat? I mean, there is a cost to be the boss, but if I give you the fucking sauce, will you come see me? That's what I want to know. Are you one of these guys that when I give you the answer, it's what I call an asshole. You just ask and you don't do, because I'm going to give you the fucking sauce. You ready for it? You ready for it, Optimum? I'll give it to you, big dog. Here's how you do it. You run a search based off of the permit data. You use AI to crawl through all the shingle roofs over 15 years old. You have human beings sort the data. And the reality is we're looking for cell phone numbers. We're looking for people that are not on the do not call list. And then we're going to put them on a fucking map. We use an app called Roofing Redline. It's my software. It's an intelligence department. I get real data from my door-to-door team. So the best roofs that you could be calling, that you could be advertising optimum, are the roofs dispositioning. Chances are you don't use an app like Sales Rabbit. Why? Because roofing sales reps got to use Company Cam, Sales Rabbit, Sumo Quote, Job Nimbus, fucking Hail Recon, all these fucking apps to sell roofs. Fuck that. That's why they won't use that Sales Rabbit shit. What you need is an app that dispositions your doors, that tells you when you knock the door, it's an old roof, so you can call it later on, because it's the Air Force with the ground force, big dog. It's the ability to get that cell phone number, because we got virtual guys. We got solar guys that like got burnt doing door knocking. So all they do is get leads over the phone, and we just give them the permit data. And then when we get into the neighborhood optimum, guess what? Guess what? When you have a lead and there's roofs over 15 years old, because you've searched through the permit data, you've scrubbed it against the DNC, you found the cell phone number, there's other 15-year-old roofs around that motherfucker. And so it's about not just running the leads, but it's about knocking the doors around where you run the leads and managing the territory. And territory management requires that you disposition every door. And so using the data means that you can't be a dumb roofer, and you got to learn how to use technology and be disciplined. You see this right here? This man behind me was a disciplined, mean. He did not want anyone to challenge the fact that Michael Jordan was better than him. And dude, I'm gonna be real. I grew up with a chip on my shoulder, and I believe that my duty is to prove that I am the best facilitator of success in this business. And so if you're watching this right now, dude, you need to get with the fucking good times. Using AI to build the list is the first step. Then I have an appointment setter. I have AI. Now, here's the thing. You cannot have AI cold call people on random lists. You have to have AI call people that have opted in. So because here's the thing. Roofers like to hate. How y'all Lee haters doing? Y'all same people getting all this sauce that say that you're a little insulted by my confidence. Okay. Don't like the post. Don't share the post. Come for the sauce. But if you're watching this, big dog, I want to make a difference in your life. Personal development is everything to me. Sometimes I'm the biggest student in the room. We had a guy come in, Strong Roofing, Trey Strong. He stole a $2 million job from me. I put it on the internet. This motherfucker went behind me and sold that shit. Congrats for Trey, man. This guy is one of the leading guys at building a brand. And Trey, he's done something very special. He built a podcast, he built a network, he built a brand, and he does marketing a little different than me, but his style added to the community. And so I learned a lot from him, and I was giving him my sauce. And if you're watching this, guys, you're a business owner, I'm calling you to take action. I'm calling you to do something about this epidemic of waiting on depreciation, of building jobs. Hit this post if you're sick and tired of supplements holding up your money, because you don't ever have to do a supplement again. This post if you'll learn how to never do a supplement again. Never do a supplement again like this post. Let me show you how it works. All right. Number one, here's what we're going to do. We're going to partner with an attorney who is going to stay in their lane and fight for the customer and do what the customer's best interest is. People say, Lee, you should stay in your lane with this roof and sue. This is my fucking lane, guys. I'm a roofer. I've been through this process for hundreds of millions of dollars, but I'm going to stick to the roof. I'm going to give you a price on the roof. I'm going to educate you on the damage of the roof. I'm going to educate you on the repairability of the roof. And I'm going to be the expert witness for the attorney. And the attorney is going to drive this motherfucker home. Okay? You ready for this? Never do a supplement again. You ready? Here's what it is. Contingent upon approval, we'll do the work for what the insurance pays. You'll have no more cost than your deductible. Let's go ahead and give the insurance company a call. We got a claim number. Look, there's your claim number. Insurance companies are the toughest negotiators in the world. They delay, they deny, they defer responsibility. What we need is leverage. We use a magic letter. They always offer low or they deny. So we submit our pre-approved amount. We're going to submit a pre-approved amount that's going to help you save on your insurance, and it's at no cost to you. Do you have a copy of your driver's license? Is this a loan? You said it'd be costing my insurance. Is this a loan? Sir, This is a special program. It is a loan. We partner with Truist Bank. Have you heard of them? It's at no cost to you. You will pay 0% interest, and we will get this settled within 12 months. You have legitimate damage. You want it covered, right? You got a half decent credit score, right? All right, great. So what happens if my insurance don't pay for it? Well, here's the thing. Insurance companies are dropping people. You got an older roof. You're going to be forced to pay to replace this roof anyways. The cheapest that you can get a roof is today. When you get a new roof, you can start saving. You're going to have a better quality roof. You're not going to have to know about it. You're going to have the best looking roof in the neighborhood. But what we're going to do that's a little bit different is we're going to document this. We're going to use our experience of getting hundreds of millions of dollars in insurance claims, and we're going to show you the best way for you to get paid. And the best way for you to get paid is for you to go ahead and get pre-approved, because we've been through this so many times, and this is just the next step. And it's simple. If we could get 50 to 80% of your roof covered, that'd be good, right? Well, Lee, that'd be better if it was like 80%. I'm sure it would. But how old is your roof, sir? 15 years old. Well, you go out there and shop around. You get quotes. Get as many quotes as you want. Who's going to quote your $30,000 roof for $15,000? I don't think you can find a quote that's cheaper than material and labor. And if I fight with my magic letter and my pre-approval, this is the leverage you need. Why? Because the insurance company has the power of the purse right now. They're making you wait. What I'm trying to do is give you the power of purse, saying, hey, we're incurring the cost. This is a contractual agreement. We're pre-approved for this amount. Please pay the claim as presented. We're going to sue your ass. So let's go into the stats. We got a guy named JoJo. He's done $2.5 million before the roof and sue method. He was not $1 million producer. Now he's a $2.5 million producer. We got a guy, Malachi, $600,000, does $1 million in the last 90 days. Got a project. This job right up the road, denied by the insurance. It's $70,000 tile roof. They have damage all over. And we tell them, look, the best way to move forward is to incur the cost. Insurance companies bullshitting, even though that's with the lawyer. But when we send the magic letter and we say we're incurring the cost, here's the pre-approved amount. We're starting the job. 2 weeks before we started the job, we got the claim paid, minus $2,000. The first time I tried this roof and sue method, it was a $2.5 million job. It was a project. It came from my boxing gym. And yes, I am a retail roofer. I build a network. I've been in Naples doing $10 million a year for the last 7 years. If you're watching this right now, you want to build a $10 million roofing company. I've helped at least 100 roofers scale to 8 figures and beyond. And at the end of this month, we're holding a scale and exit blueprint. And for this scale and exit blueprint, 4 calls a week, we teach you this insurance to retail. I train you as one of my brothers. It's one of my sales guys. And you, your sales team, whoever that you want can get into our community, because that's what we have. A WhatsApp chat, and we have a software called Roofing Redline. And unlike these other tools where you got to use like 10 different softwares, Roofing Redline measures roofs instantly. Instant roof quotes, dispositions all your doors, has a leaderboard, has photos, has everything you need for digital signatures and getting roofs approved by the insurance before there's an approval. Why? Because I don't need the insurance. I get approval through a bank. And if you're watching this right now, this is how we're killing it. Like Lakeland to Clearwater. And if you're in Florida, you know, people are getting dropped by their insurance, you know, and this is what's going to happen across the whole nation. The insurance companies are going to use AI to find the old roofs, and they're going to strategically deny or drop people that have old roofs. And if you're watching this, if you've been watching this for years as a sales rep, as you're an owner, if you're ever in Florida, let's hit and let the mats roll. I'd love to. If you like to go roll, I love that. And I want to invite you, brother, just because if you train jujitsu, or if you're a wrestler, if you're a grappler, you know that iron sharpens iron. And that without good training partners in the gym to walk you through moves and then for you to do them against them, then you can't get better. And so I don't know who are the 5 people that you train with in roofing, but I want to invite you to come to Florida and make it a priority. Here's why. Because if you don't learn this insurance to retail shit and you do scale the fuck out of your business, you will scale your life to hell. I have being dependent on death by depreciation. I've hit so many cash flow walls that y'all don't have to hit if you just follow the rules, never get in front of the money, and you get a loan for every insurance claim if possible, or you get every insurance claim 50% down, 25% when you start, the rest, the balance when you're done. What about the mortgage? What about the depreciation? Sir, I'm not a bank. However, I can partner with a bank at no cost to you, and you can get me paid so I can pay my people. And if you're watching this right now, y'all are afraid to pull the Band-Aid and give people a price. You're afraid to be the most expensive contractor in your market. You know what that means? Dude, you're never going to be the baddest motherfucker on the street. You got to raise your price if you want money to market. If you want money to buy your sales reps Rolexes, you can't be the cheapest guy on the street. And so if you're watching this right now, I know you want me to help you hire more guys. I know you want me to help you get more leads. But if you're doing insurance, look, this insurance to retail shit works without a storm. We're always going to find old roofs, a storm date, and we can get the roofs through even if they have minimal damage, because the customers, they will get a percentage of the roofs. Like, let's say 10% of the roofs get completely denied. But here's the thing, we're giving our customers the best chance to save money. And when they incur the cost, and when they tell the customer, and using the magic letter, you say, hey, this is what it's going to cost. All right, this is the damage, and here's why. Please pay the claim as presented. Look, I know my rights, and I'm going to have my engineers and attorneys hold you accountable if you don't pay this claim as presented, and I'm going to start the roof within 30 days. Here's a copy of my engineer's report that says that the roof is damaged. It's stamped by an engineer. And if you're watching this right now, guys, I want to make a difference in your life. I want you to train with me 4 times a week. Now, you might ask, Lee, there's got to be some big expense for this. Look, brother, I am making this so affordable because my mission is to now build a $1 billion company. I want to write the biggest check. I want to write 8-figure checks to 100 roofers, but I can't do it. One, your company's too dependent on you. You don't have a good sales manager. You don't have a good production manager. You're probably not disciplined when it comes to finances. You're probably not charging enough money. You almost certainly don't have a good marketing system. And I guarantee you, most of you don't recruit enough people, because the answer to your business is the who, not how. It's new people coming into your business. And I want to invite you to think about having me be that new person and training with me and my guys 4 times a week, both on insurance, retail, commercial, and then come into my office, joining a community and plugging into a working system. And that working system says every job must be 40 to 45%. Says you be paid in full when you're finished with every job. If you don't get paid in full, then you must get paid in full within 14 days. And that if your average accounts receivable is over 14 days, you have. This is a new way to live, that if you build on foundation and you never get ahead of the money, you will always have money to market and get more leads. You will always have money to invest into your people, to use your money to love the people, not love the money and use the people. And if you're watching this right now, like, you don't want to fight insurance companies. You want this magic letter, type magic letter. All right. Let me tell you the cost of this, if it's okay. Is it okay if I tell you the cost? If you're an owner and you're still here, I'm sure you're curious about what this costs. Look, you pay for this with one fucking roof. One roof. It's $5,000. You get 4 calls a week for the entire year. You get to come to my office. I walk you through the entire scaling roadmap, and I bring you into my community. Now, this is the first app, Roofing Redline, where you can measure roofs instantly, give an instant quote, upload your photos, get digital signatures. We use AI to build this app, and this app has allowed me to be much better at the setter closer model. As a matter of fact, I have a limited amount of time to talk to you. I got a whole bunch of sales guys. They're out in a new hot turf. There's a fresh hailstorm in Florida, and my guys are killing it right now. I got some new recruits from a local college. It's their first day on the job. I can see it inside their app that they're in a hot location, and I got to go out there because they're teeing me up on leads. And that's really what you want, guys. You want young guys that are setting appointments for the experienced closers, because those people come in and become future closers. And the best lead a roofing company can get is not a $1 million commercial job. It's a $1 million recruit. Of y'all are too focused on the $1 million job as the solution, when you should be thinking about the fundamental program that produces the $1 million recruit. I want to be the foundation of that program. I want to help inspire you to build your brand on personal brand when it's social media. I don't know how you rate yourself as a social media marketer, but it's 2026, guys. It's time for you to build an Instagram that brings in hot talent. It's time for you to have a working paid advertising system that gets you good, qualified, experienced salespeople who will go knock on doors trying to come work for you. It's time that you stop being a slave to these insurance companies, denying your claims, waiting for supplements. It's fucking time to stop selling jobs plus supplements for low margin, waiting for your money, having the customers get your money, and then putting that money in their fucking pocket. It's difficult to collect. It causes you too much overhead. How do I know these pains? Because I've been through them. Does Roofing Redline work with commercial? It fucking kills it with commercial because I use the drone pitch. My drone detected damage. See, it's got aerial images here in Florida of actual hurricane damage, but in Colorado, you can overlay the storm maps. And what it's going to do, what I use the Roofing Redline for in commercials, my guys, they're dropping pins on commercial properties that look like good candidates. And on Wednesdays, we do a commercial sales call. So Optimum, this $5,000, it comes with a commercial sales training. And here's what I do on that call. I use an app called Reonomy to find the cell phone number of the owner, and I teach you my ultimate pitch. Hi, my name is Lee Haight. I've been assigned storm damage on your commercial property, 123 Main Street. My drone detected damage. I'm a commercial roofer. Is this Ron Burgundy? Yeah, Ron, I know your office smells of rich mahogany, but I'm a bad motherfucking commercial roofer, and I'm looking at your roof. And I think that, today, by the time 2 o'clock comes around, I'm going to be in the area. Point is, you tell them, you don't sell them. I could give you the whole sauce, but you assign yourself the investigation. You tell them your drone detected damage. You don't ask them fucking questions, and you tell them that you're sending them the report. When you're dealing with a damn moneymaker like a Grant Cardone, I can tell you about a guy named Tom Yang. Tom Yang's out of Wheat Ridge, Colorado. There was a big storm. You remember that storm? It was baseballs, and I was in the Dallas-Fort Worth airport parking lot. I was a two-man show. I was going to go chase that storm with my buddy Cagney. And I picked up the phone and I looked into Reonomy and I found the storm path and I went into the category and I looked for individual owners and I looked for people that own more than 5 to 10 properties. And then I found a guy, and this guy's name's Tom Yang. You can look him up. Great guy. Tom, he rented an office to Interstate, Scott Riopel, and had done real estate investment deals with Scott, who sold his company to One Solutions, $250 million private equity owned group. Scott's a legend in the game, got tons of respect for him. I think he's an OG. He's an OG when it comes to operations, profit, running business, fucking OG in the game. I love Scott. So when I found out that this guy was friends with Scott, I thought, holy shit, no way I'm going to fucking sell this guy a roof. But what did I do, man? I found his information. I found his cell phone number. I said, Tom, my drones detected damage. I just wanted to let you know. Been assigned an investigation of the roof. Your roof's been impacted. I've got to get you copies of this report. Insurance companies are going to fight you. I'm going to help you get it approved. I'm going to walk you through the process. I got to get you an estimate. You already know a roofer. Well, when roofers compete, you win. I've got this report ready, and I'm coming to see you in the next 24 to 48 hours. When can I catch you? And Tom took the meeting. And so I ended up building rapport with him. I rented an office from Tom. I ended up fucking stealing Tom away from Scott. I did fucking 5 commercial roofs for him. When I was done with the commercial roofs, man, I had 10 jobs. I thought I was going to get richer. And he told me, Lee, I'm tearing down these properties. And so I thought, fuck, these properties are in Wheat Ridge and shit, and they're right on the main drag. And, they're sometimes that real estate's worth more than the buildings, them little bitty piece of shit buildings. Like, I'm not fixing these roofs. And so I said, Tom, there's a cancellation in our contingency agreement. You owe me 10%. He was cool with that. And so what happened was, when it came time for me to collect my 10%, Mr. Optimum, I took a cold call and I turned it into my own commercial properties because I said, dude, you owe me 10%, but I need $300,000. That's how much I need for the down payment on this apartment complex. And here it is. This is a friend of mine's apartment complex. This is how much it is per unit. This is what I plan to do to fix it up. Will you bankroll this multifamily deal? This motherfucker said yes. So I took the money and I bought this property. And I got such a good deal on it that literally 7 months later, I doubled my money. I probably could have made a lot more money had I not just done like a wholesale deal and just flipped it because I got the deal for so cheap. But I got the property for about $350,000. I sold the property for about $700,000. It's about $750,000. So it was about a $400,000 wholesale markup. I mean, I held the property for about 5 months. But the bottom line is I got it through a commercial cold call with the app Reonomy, and I could train you how to do that. But it devil's in the data with how you sort the data and how you find a cell phone and how you talk to them and then how you close the complex sell. But who the fuck else can teach you that? I mean, Paul Reed, he teaches good commercial stuff out of Denver. I like him. He's got a different approach. But, you know, what we do is a little bit different. We go straight to the source. And so that's what I teach people. That's how I teach people how to make millions of dollars in roofing, is that you need to learn how to sell bigger roofs. And so I teach people how to sell metal roofs, stone coated steel roofs, roofs that are luxury shingles, and the commercial roofs to increase your average transaction value, because you do less work, more profit, and you end up working for better customers and you have a better life. And so it's actually running a diversified playbook of shingle, high-end residential, and commercial that gives you lots of different avenues of income as a roofing contractor. And if you're watching this right now and you want help, you need more commercial leads. And this program of you coming to my office and learning this whole insurance to retail, learning how to generate leads through Facebook, it all is included, because we have a commercial call on Wednesday. And if you want leads, I'm going to teach you how to make the videos. I'm going to give you the scripts. Then I'm going to tell you should be posting on your Instagram and Facebook daily. And if you'd love to learn more from me directly, I'm going to give you my cell phone number, guys. I'm going to put it into the chat right now, because I'm not no bitch, dude. I'm not because here's my intention, dude. I want to make a lifelong relationship, and I want to write you the biggest check of my life, of your life. So once I help you grow, of course, you pay for consulting, but I'm buying companies that are $1, $2, and $3 million EBITDA. I'm looking for business owners that have functional marketing methods, great reviews. I'm looking on the end of the balance sheet to be at about 15% net on your profit. That means if you do a $10 million book of business, but you're not profiting 1.5 million, then I'm not interested in buying your company. But I'm going to have every single company on this insurance to retail, because I'm not buying companies that don't cash flow. And if you're watching this right now, go ahead and text me if you want my help, because I'll do a free audit on your business. I'll give you your strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. You know, you can email me any questions you may have, but it's pretty simple. I mean, you have a choice. My choice when it came time, I reached out to my first paid mentor was when I bought the Grant Cardone package. I ended up having the opportunity to sell him a roof. Did 53 roofs for Grant, but then it sent me on a journey. From there, I bought Russell Brunson's Inner Circle, read all the books, did all the content, wrote all this copy in the ads, went to the events. From there, I invested into Andy Frisella and Ed Milet, Arate. I think I paid 75 grand for that. I've invested into a lot of different groups and coaches, and I've brought a lot of information from outside the roofing industry, and it's helped me a lot. My dad, my uncle, they were successful in this business. They were early storm chasing pioneers. They were door-to-door guys that taught me things. But I think I've learned as much from the successful guys in my network. Like this guy, Smart Roof, he came into my group, and now he's doing more than me because he mastered retail faster than me. He came from a retail background, power home remodeling. He switched every denial to a roof in a bag presentation. And the roof in a bag presentation just relies on this principle that if you get the customer to touch 3 different parts of the roof, whether it's ice and water shield, the shingle sample, and the drip edge, that they're 90% more likely to buy. And he just literally put every single deal, every denial. He was in Virginia, he was in Maryland. He wanted every deal to go to a retail pitch that was denied. And so this allowed him to, you know, set the terms on how to do retail in the future. He added solar to his roofing. Now they're doing over 100 million a year. Josh, door to door, great guy, great leader. And so, look, here's the thing. If you're watching this right now, Shy is great. He's a good dude. He's sold his company, and he got overpaid for his company. The company was an insurance company, and right now private equity multiples have gone down a lot. He did really well. The thing is deals like Shy's deal, where there were groups of insurance roofers, they've exposed the problem of our insurance industry and the fact that if you're working in the Southeast and you have low margin in your jobs, but you also have death by depreciation in your culture and you have high overhead to run the business, then the profit margin at the end isn't as good as it could be if you were forcing the conversation for a retail and you were getting paid when you're finished. And one thing's for sure, they have paved the way for us platforms, us roofing companies that are trying to grow roofing companies, buy other roofing companies, help them hit their dream inside of our dream. building $1 billion company, creating 100 multimillionaires in roofing. I know that whoever comes through my office, whoever aligns with my values of personal development first, of excellence, integrity, of innovation, dude, of doing things literally with courage, because fearlessness was the core value, but everyone has fear. I mean, I'm sure you have fear if you've never hired your first coach. I'm sure you have fear. What if Lee's not a good guy? Well, let me tell you something, man. You've been following my content. You've been thinking about hiring me. You've been sticking with this for so long. If you're an owner and you've been on this call, you know, my big thing is like, my duty is I had a spiritual experience because of this. I was gifted. My dad taught me the industry. I got to be in this business and do this. I've done 200 million in roofs in the last 5 years. And I've helped guys get 400 million in results. At least 8 of my companies have already scaled and exited. Humboldt Roofing out of Atlanta scaled to 25 million. Guys 4 years older than me. And he's living a retired life off of his 8-figure check. And everybody's a little bit different. I'm really not going to just walk away into the sunset. That's not really what I'm built for. I'm built to be the best facilitator of success in this industry. And I'll be real, I had to go through a complete rebuild to get off the insurance tit, to get off of the death by depreciation, to get off of this fucking idea that we can just continue to wait for supplements, wait for denials. And this new shift, this insurance to retail, it's been a revolution. And so if Joey is a badass dude, Joey is the guy that's behind a lot of technology. I like that software. And so if you're in Mississippi, dude, you got to name your price. Mississippi's too cheap. The insurance doesn't pay good enough Xactimate numbers. And, you know, there's not as much, basically, it's not hard to get a home improvement license or roof contractor in Mississippi. So it's hard to separate. It's hard to really get the right price. And you do have to be retail. One of the ways that I do it in Mississippi, metal roof, similar to the price of shingles. How a metal roof is cheaper than a shingle roof long-term. How a metal roof will help you save money long-term as a Mississippi homeowner. And now if you buy a shingle roof, you're stupid. Hi, my name is Wyatt Roberts. Download my free metal roof cost comparison between shingle and metal. I'm here with Johnny. Johnny Redbone got his new metal roof, and it was just a little bit more than a shingle roof. The cool thing about it is he's not going to have to replace it in 15 years. This roof's good for 50 plus years, and it fucking looks good. Look at Johnny Redbone standing seam. That son of a bitch is bad to the bone. Johnny Redbone, what was your biggest fear? I was afraid of paying too much for a metal roof. I was afraid one of these roofers is going to fucking overcharge me. Well, Wyatt Roberts came over here. He gave me a fair price. It wasn't too cheap. Wasn't too expensive, but it's a fucking good price. And this Wyatt Roberts, son of a bitch, is the best fucking metal roofer in Mississippi, this side of Mississippi. You know, give old Wyatt Roberts a call. You heard it right there, boys. We got metal similar to the price of shingles. We got a 15% price value guarantee on metal. If you want to download my free cost comparison between shingle roof and metal roof, click the link below, schedule an inspection. We'll get you your cost comparison and your free evaluation. Okay? I got family in Summerall, right next to old Brett Favre. Mr. Controversy there. And look, Mississippi people need training too. And if you're watching this and you enjoyed it, text me, call me. I look forward to helping you. I got to go hit the deals, hit the street. I look forward to it. We're doing another event. So true. Past couple years in Colorado have been tough with the insurance process drop. Is roof and sue method is gold. Well, brother, reach out. Send me a text. Send me an email. Let's further this conversation. Maybe you were the most important person on this call. Smart money culture, I appreciate that. Thanks for sticking with us. Look, hour long of free value. Hopefully it changes someone's life. More importantly, I'm going out with my team because I'm not an empty suit. When I get stuck in this fucking podcast room, I feel like a goddamn empty suit. This is what we call an ivory tower. This is what a lot of these bitch ass CEOs do. They sit behind their fucking desk. They never get out in the streets, and they think they can't run their roofing company from the truck. Well, when you're blue collar, you got to do your business in the truck. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to get in a truck. I'm going to drive an hour to turf. I'm going to handle the rest of my Thursday meetings, and then I'm going to go help my guys get deals. Look, if y'all enjoyed this, we have an event coming up at the end of the month. We want you here. We do 4 calls a week where we teach insurance to retail, the roof and sue, commercial and retail only. If you're watching this right now, I want to connect with you. I put my phone number into the chat. Here's my phone number. You're going to text me. You're going to say, hey, dude, let's set up a call. I want to audit. I want to audit on my cash flow, and audit on my process, audit on my sales, and audit on my marketing. And I want to audit your social media presence and how well it is actually attracting salespeople into your company. And so, yeah, I really appreciate y'all hanging in there with me. I'm going to be doing some more of these live streams. It's not about the crowd. It's about the disciples. It's about the people that are serious about really making a difference. And right now there is a gold rush for roofing companies. If you can truly execute, private equity wants to buy good roofing companies now more than ever. The standard has been risen. You know, whether you're making $1 to $2 million a year, your company goes without you. Your biggest problem is you're probably selling your own jobs. You're probably too owner dependent. And if you're watching this right now, you know, you want a better foundation. Look, I beat my head against the wall. I promise you don't have to make the same mistakes I have. I've done 200 million in roofs in the last 5 years. My best year, I paid myself $1 million, paid my dad $1 million. I profited $4.5 million. I paid the government $1 million. But here recently, I went through a rebuild to the point where the next year after that, I lost money. The next year after that, I had to fight to break even. And this year was the best margin year I ever had, even though I did less revenue. And if you're watching this right now, it's not about the fucking revenue. And so what it's really about, Joey is a man. Thanks for your recommendation, Joey. I really appreciate this. I really appreciate you spreading the word. Guys, share this stream to your sales guys. I broke down sales nuggets. I broke down the roofing suit. I broke down a concept that you should set your price and then get reimbursed. Joey, I know that you're a legend and you come from a legendary family, so I really do appreciate that recommendation. I believe that app y'all did was fucking revolutionary. And I think that it's the same Joey, but basically it was an app that allowed a insurance rookie to go elevation by elevation and put the damage into a calculated percentage of the chance of getting the roof bought, so that you could know as an owner which ones to build a lot of time into based off of what insurance carrier it was, what kind of damage it had, and I thought it was just a great way to keep a guided point by point inspection. But that was when you had to systemize getting the roof spot. With my method, none of that shit. Getting a good inspection does matter. It matters more than anything. The photos are probably the most important thing. We all know that one of the keys to the magic letter is photo bombing the fucking adjuster. And if you don't have good photos of the damage of each elevation and you don't have a good way to present them, then you're fucked. Okay. So I think that app was great, but I just do think that us waiting for approval, only accepting that we're going to sign 100 contingencies and build 60 roofs. The app, my app is Roofing Redline. I don't know what the name of that app was. Maybe I'm confusing people, but I do know this. All right. If you're a business owner, we want you at our next event. We want you in our sales training brotherhood. We want you learning the roof and sue method. We want you raising your prices. We want you getting paid when you're done. We want you building the roof for the money that you're waiting for and supplement up front. So let's say the customer gets their insurance estimate. You've told the customer that you're going to do the roof for what the insurance pays, but your price is more than what the insurance paid. Lee, you told me this was going to be an insurance claim. You're charging me more than the insurance. Why? Number one, you got to set it up from the beginning. You got to tell them insurance companies always offer low. They're never going to pay us the right amount. They're never going to pay for code items, and we're going to put a better quality roof. If we try to put on the roof the way the insurance company says fit, we might as well reuse your felt, reuse your step flashing, because they want you to use shit. They're trying to pay you wholesale prices. Whatever their first offer is, it's shit. Okay, if you set the customer up, then they understand that. Okay, that's the setup. And then when you are actually having the conversation with the customer, now you got to build value in you, your company, your process. Talk about the value of the ice and water shield and step flashing, the workmanship warranty, the quality of the build, all these different things. And then you're going to say, look, we're putting you a better quality roof on. We're going to get you reimbursed. You keep the insurance company while we work it out at no cost to you. I've got a special program. You get the better quality roof. We get you reimbursed. Yeah, it's for more money, but you're getting so much more value. It's cheaper in the long run if you just go ahead and sign up for $10,000 more. This includes all the code upgrades, and you will get reimbursed. So if you could go ahead and give me the copy of your driver's license, your social. This is very simple. It's at no cost to you. It's a special program. Oh, you don't want to get a loan? It's the same as cash. No, don't worry about it. Keep the check. I don't need any money up front. This just protects you. You keep that money. If you wanted to go ahead and give that money to a roofer, that's how you could get screwed. The guy could run off. You don't give me any money up front. I build the roof. I get paid when you're happy. What's more fair than that? So that's how you get a job supplemented without supplementing. Because what you do is you charge the price of the supplement, you put it into the loan, and then you tell the customer, hey, we'll work that out on the back end. And so if you're watching this right now, text me so that we can set up your audit. I'm going to go knock doors. I got my guys out there calling me, selling deals. We're on a contest. It's a heater. If y'all want to fucking get your sales guys selling more jobs, you need a leaderboard. That leaderboard's been blowing me up. The WhatsApp's been blowing me up. I can't be leaving them out, dude. I can't be up here in the ivory tower. If you're an ivory tower leader, you need your door-to-door heartbeat back. You need General Lee to tell you to get the fuck in the field, being a baby back bitch, and come join the people that are trying to raise a whole status for roofing. Be the real example for us insurance guys that have really done good business, but we have a bad business model. This, depending on insurance shit, is bullshit. So look, it's a great way to get your door, but you got to switch to retail. I want to help you out. Send me a text, send me an email. We'll get you all set up. Peace out.